Halo in the past has always been synonymous with montages, especially during the Halo 2, 3, and Reach period, with iconic montages such as Walsh's second Halo 2 montage, Straight Rippen's team-tage, or Avengers, a lethal and formal dual-tage. Let's have a look back at the history of the rise and fall of the montage scene within Halo. Montages really started within Halo actually at the very beginning with Combat Evolved back in 2002.
Yeah. So Halo 1, there was a ton of different montages. I can't even remember like whose montage I was watching, but I just remember it was of Xbox Connect, which was like Xbox Live for Halo before Halo 2, obviously. So you could play Halo 1 online. But the lag was so terrible because like you had to lead your shot by a huge margin if you were on high ping. Like you would literally swipe your reticle with a sniper and shoot like 40 feet to the right of the guy, but it would still register the headshot. But like the guys that played on it all the time were like used to the lag and like doing that on purpose. And that was what we were watching in the video. I'm like, he's missing all of his shots. This isn't even real. Like, that's why I thought they were cheating.
Although they started in Halo 1, the Halo's montage scene really started to blow up in Halo 2, with both online Halo being more prevalent with the introduction of Xbox Live, as well as the internet evolving to a point where it was way easier to share videos. Keeping in mind, YouTube didn't exist. These videos would be shared via forums and would require you to download them on a different site, such as Halo 2 Forum, which was run by Z, or GamingVids.com, or even the MLG Pro forums.
I was getting pretty good at Halo 2. One of my friends from high school also played, and he invited me over to his house. He was like, he played drums a lot, so I like to like watch him play drums. I don't know, he was really sick at that. And then he was like, bro, I want to watch you play Halo. You're so good at it. So I was like, all right, like, sure. And he pops in like a VHS tape. Like, bro, this is really aging me, right? Like a VHS tape into the VCR and like hits record on it. And he's like, yeah, just play for a while so I want to be able to watch this later. And I was like, what? You want to just watch me play Halo? It was like the first time that anyone wanted to watch me play Halo. And it kind of like, I guess like clicked something in my mind. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So then I like try to show off a little bit more because it's being recorded. So then I like go for some 360 like stick for a kill tack or some crazy shit. And he was just like losing it the whole time. He's like, this is so sick. This is so awesome. And then I got home and I started doing some research about like how to record it. And I found it's called a Dazzle 90. It was like one of the original capture cards. And it was kind of cheap online. So I ordered it. I set it up myself. I had it hooked up to my computer that was in my room. I was on like halo2forum.com, I think at the time, and like the MLG forums. And I like made a post like, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help me set up my Dazzle 90, basically. And then like people knew I was kind of making waves in the pro scene, and somebody hit me up, showed me how to download a pirated version of Sony Vegas and like all these other things. I mean, I'm like 15 years old, so I could not afford like all the programs that I was using. But this guy just like sent me all this shit. He's like, yeah, just do this, use the CD key. And I was like, okay, cool. And all of a sudden I've got all the software to like record myself and then edit the montage. And then, yeah, I just started playing around with Sony Vegas. I just started putting like cool clips in there. And I made my first montage was all just made by myself.
During this time, making montages were like sharing skate videos in the 90s. This was used almost like a display of creativity or talent and was usually edited by the montager himself, with the quality of editing improving as well as the clips either in MLG game types or social games.
Like we were all trying to, I guess, like one-up each other in a way. Like we wanted to make like cooler and cooler videos, but at the same time, everybody was super supportive and like just talked about how cool everybody else's montage was. You know, it's a kind of a different atmosphere. BXR, double shot, all the button combos. People don't notice like the reload glitches that people were using. RRBX was like a mix between a double shot and a BXR. I just feel like there was a lot more individual skill expression in that game, even if maybe things like sniping were probably easier. Like it had such a high fire rate and was pretty generous with the bullet magnetism. But like the BR specifically just allowed for really creative montage clips.
People were constantly improving their videos despite the lack of resources. A big example of a step up in montages was Shook1's montage, Fragging Rights, where for the first time we saw the use of a third person angle in a montage, which in today's standard is almost nothing, but a milestone nonetheless back in 2005 when it was first released. Although there was almost like a split between the montagers and the pro players, there were a few who did bridge a gap, one of them obviously being Eli.
I can't take all the credit for that because there was like It Was Luck was doing the same thing. It Was Luck was he played for Exit Wounds, so it was Luck and his brother Bonfire. It Was Luck was like making montages with pro scrims in it, and then Mikowski, of course, my duo, he was making lots of montages with like in FFAs with pro players.
As Halo 2 was coming to an end, Halo 2 left us with fantastic pioneers in the content creation space as a whole, with the likes of impactful montages such as Nakamura, Reed 18, Shook 1, Eli the Ninja, and Furion, as well as many, many more. But as the release of Halo 3 was coming out, there was one montage that would be a turning point within Halo content creation as a whole: Walshy's second Halo 2 montage.
Yeah, I want to say it hit 1 million views in like 2 or 3 days. Like that's how big Halo montages were at the time. Like there was probably TV shows that were on like national television that didn't get 1 million views in 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean? But Walshy's montage was that huge at the time. Everybody was talking about it. I remember he like teased it for like a few days before, like Walshy montage drops on Tuesday, the whatever, you know, I forget what day it released, but no, everybody was watching it. We would like group up in voice chat and then like have it paused at 0 and then all hit play and watch it together. Like I'm pretty sure that's what we did at the time. Whoever my teammates were and like whatever my online friends were, we would all get into a party on Halo 2, all have the video paused and then all like count down like 3, 2, 1, play, and we all watched it and like reacted to it together. And we're just losing our minds the whole time. Like, cause
with the release of a new game also meant a new generation of editors and montagers, and for the first time in Halo history, we were introduced to theater mode. With this tool, editors took montages to the next level.
You may know me as Muggsy. What I've done in the space, I mean, I've made probably way more videos than I should have, if you ask me, looking back. And I mean, that's pretty much it. I've been a Halo player since Halo 3, and I never looked back, so.
Theater within Halo really allowed montages to evolve to more than just a series of clips put together. It almost turned into a cinematic experience that took the viewer through the story the editor wanted to tell. This could range from amazing MLG clips as a farewell to Halo 3, like in Legacy edited by Zola, or even a way to show and remember the good times within Halo, like Honbomb's This Is Halo series. Either way, it became a new way to communicate to the audience and tell a story. Alongside being on a new generation of consoles, as well as the amazing art style Halo 3 produced with beautiful maps that all have different personalities and bright colors as well as different moods.
It's, to me, had like the best art style, and it's just a beautiful game, like so many different colored maps. Right, and in the editing as well, like it's kind of fun to mess with like the color correction and color grading, and like that's a fun part for some people. And it's like when you start to do that in a montage and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what this looks like on Construct with the purple lifts. Like, oh, this is gonna look sick. It's like, I don't know. It's just, that was way more prevalent in Halo 3 because, as you said, each map kind of had its own personality.
Even though YouTube was out and people stopped downloading these montages onto their computer and were able to just stream it, all of this would still be communicated through the forums, and more specifically, the Halo 3 forums.
Halo 3 forum during my time, and it became the Halo forum. And then it like changed completely after like different people took control and everything. But when it was the Halo 3 forum, that was something special. Like that place was, I missed that place. You had to be there to actually know why it was so special, but everyone there was just there for montages. I mean, there was other off-topic parts of the forum, but people were there for montages, and there were pages and pages of discussion of like just montages. So like if a new one came out, you would make a new thread in the montages section or whatever, and you would post a link to your montage. You would talk about it. Here's a link to the YouTube where you can download it, and then people just comment on it, and like there would be pages and like I remember there was only like 10 responses per page or something. So like it was a big deal to be a comment on the front page of the Montage thread. And so people would immediately, once a Montage, like a good one got posted, they would immediately make a post that was EWD, edit when done. And so they would reserve their spot on that list, on that front page, and then watch the Montage, come back, leave their feedback. Oh, this is amazing, this is whatever, just so that they could be on that front page. Because like that's how much people cared back then. Like you would have your, you could give reputation per post. So like it encouraged people to talk and give feedback and just post. So like someone has high rep, they probably know what they're talking about. You would ask someone with more clout than you to post your Montage as a way to like vouch. Like I remember asking Dutchy to, hey, can you post this Montage that I edited? Because like more people will click the thread if they see you posted it.
To add to this, during this time, MLG was also at its peak, which allowed for the showcase of some of the most insane plays along some of the best players, which also spawned the era of some of the best team Tages in gaming history. With the likes of Frenetic Array to Straight Rippin to the Status Quo Montage, all very different in personality, yet all 100% MLG, and all against some of the best players in the world. Montages were at the height of its popularity, and insane projects were always in production, and naturally, this meant that some projects would sadly fall through.
It wasn't my project necessarily, it was going to be a bigger project. It was called Blacklist, and this was a project that Zola was putting together. And it was 10 different editors, all editing 1 minute, where every part of the, like everyone's edit transitioned seamlessly into the person before and after them. And so I was one of those 10, and it just never, like, I don't know how it fell through. I definitely never finished my edit.
Around the release of Halo 3, YouTube would blow up in popularity, and this allowed people to share their montages much easier than before. This also led to the birth of possibly two of the most important channels in Halo history, FB Walshy FTW and Air Guitar 901. Nowadays what they did would ironically be considered stealing content, but back then it was an honor to have your content on their channel. These channels would almost be like a time capsule to old school Halo today. As Halo 3 came to an end, the cross-section of both quality of clips as well as the skills of an editor was at an all-time high. Alongside the popularity of Halo just being out of the world is something I doubt we'll ever get to experience again, as the stars just aligned so well for the montage scene.
Like the height of the scene for me, I think it has to be like the tail end of Halo 3 into like early Reach days. But I think like if like I had to show someone one Halo montage to be like, hey, this is why Halo montages are fucking sick. Like you need to watch this one. It's probably something Zola made for sure, but probably Legacy. Halo 3 Legacy. Because that one, it's not only competitive, it's like some social stuff, but it like perfectly encapsulates like what a montage is and should and could be.
Halo Reach, although not the most popular game in the competitive sense, and by far the most dull looking game when it came to MLG montages, as the maps were all grey, still had a very high quality and healthy montage scene, with MLG montages from a lot of the top pros coming throughout its lifespan, such as all of Ninja's montage, Straight Second Prototype, as well as a new generation montages coming in with the likes of Axillo, Cause of Hell, Trank, and your usual people such as your Dutchy, your Campy, etc. Reach as a whole did a good job at writing off what Halo 3 gave it. As Halo Reach was nearing the end of its life, it did end with a bang. Avengers, a montage edited by Muggsy and CJ New for Formal and Lethal was released. The energy around this montage alone was comparable to the excitement of some movies' releases, and will forever be in contention as one of the best montages ever made. Sadly, the downfall of montages would start when Halo 4 was released. This could be a combination of the population just leaving Halo or other external factors. Nonetheless, we saw a major step back.
I think it really started declining when the Halo forum as we knew it changed. And I know that's probably a weird answer, and I have more answer, like another reason, but to me the first like, damn, this isn't what it was anymore, was when we were no longer like on the haloforum.com. When it like changed to I don't know, like it, the way it looked and everything changed, the way it worked kind of changed. And then in that transition, I think a lot of members didn't go over either. So it kind of like just became a shell of what it was. And so people stopped like really posting their videos there. But that was also at the time when like Halo as a whole was losing popularity, which really sucks because making montages in that game, I think, was could have been really good because the theater mode was great. I think there's like green screens you can put into the there's things like that was.
During the lifespan of Halo 4, a lot of montages will end up going back to Halo 3 and make content there, with brilliant montages such as Trank or Chris Q still producing content when Halo was at its most dead. We still had Ninja making montages, but the scene would find it hard to recover from this setback. Old Halo players being filtered out for new ones, or even online culture just being uninterested in making them as a whole, not many people would pick up the mantle of montagers these days. As Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 5, and Infinite would release, the population would continue to grow. We would still get gems from the pro scene, such as brilliant montages with Spartan the Dog, Ace, or even Frosty, but it's still sadly not as popular as it was to both watch and make montages.
I think it's a few different factors. I think that the best players in the world are mostly just focused on competing, and there's almost like a stigma among the teams themselves. Like if your teammate is more focused on editing videos and like making TikToks or YouTube videos than he is focused on like the scrims, then I don't know, it can cause some like internal turmoil in the team, right? Like, oh, you care more about getting your stupid views than you care about us winning the tournament. Like, so there's kind of like this stigma between the teams that stop them from doing anything but like focused on winning. But on top of that, I think just culturally, people have shorter attention spans these days. I don't know. I feel like the TikTok and Vine era, like people just want to, and then shorts, like just looking at the numbers of how popular like YouTube shorts and TikToks are compared to long form videos, it's like, man, the vast majority of the population just want like instant dopamine, and like they want to be in the video, they want to be out of the video.
As Halo continues these days, there are still brilliant people making montages, with the likes of Noob Slayer 343 releasing trailers for the newest project, Stockholm, to build hype around it like it's 2010. Or the likes of Furion and Reed18 making montages like it's 2006, or Hyena still finding new and creative ways to kill people on a 20-year-old game and making it into a montage. I do believe we won't get back to what it was, due to the nature of the internet, but I don't think these people care. It's a creative outlet to have fun on, and they clearly don't do it for the money or views, but they do it because it's fun. And in a day and age where the online space seems to be very money driven, I think it's a breath of fresh air, and it's something that I will always support. Hey guys, Looney here. I know there were a lot of super important montagers and editors that deserve way more, and I didn't get to mention properly, such as Campy, Mint Blitz, Fat Rat, Snipetality, Hastings, and Dutchy, and even many more, but I just couldn't fit them in. All the montages shown have a little title on the top left of the screen, so please check them out. They are truly brilliant, and I've linked both Eli's and Muggsy's channel in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.